morning, welcome to day 14 of Vlogmas, and thank you so much everyone for continuing to watch my Vlogmas videos. I'm really enjoying making them and sharing with you some of my life in the run up to Christmas, so thank you again for keeping watching. So as I said, it's day 14, Tuesday morning, and it's actually coming up to 11 o'clock right now, and I'm coming on now a bit later because I've had a bit of a busy morning. After I dropped the children at school, I went out for a little run. I haven't been for a run for ages, so I didn't get very far, but it was nice to get out in the fresh air. And I do find it's one of those things, if I don't go out straight after the school run, it just doesn't happen. I need to kind of, be in the right mindset, and otherwise I get swept into other things. So that was really nice. And then I came home and just got a load of things sorted that I hadn't sorted for a few days. Ran a couple of wash loads, and I've actually, in the moment, in the wash, got a couple of my fabrics that I bought, that I had arrived on the weekend. If you saw my days, I think it was days 11 and 12 of Vlogmas, I shared a little mini fabric haul. So I've got some of the fabrics washing right now, which is great because I didn't get a chance yesterday. And now I finally finished my jobs, and so I thought I'd come on and share what else I've been up to and what I'm wearing, and hopefully my sewing plans for today, because I'm hoping now to do a bit of sewing, which will be really nice. So first of all, what Elf was up to. So Elf found an old game that used to belong to my husband from when he was younger, and that my children enjoy playing now, and it's called Misfits, and I'll put a picture up so you can see. It's basically lots of cards that make up different figures, and you can mix them up to make kind of funny figures with a different head that doesn't match with the legs and all sorts of things. But Elf got a few of the other toys out, and they got organised, and they each made up their own figure. So there's a little policeman with his figure, and a baby with the baby Misfits cards. And Elf actually made his own Misfits cards, so we've now got an Elf set too. So my children were really tickled that Elf had made his own ones, and they had a little play with those this morning. The great thing about Elf is when he brings out things they haven't played with for a while, it does revive their interest in them as well. So yeah, they were quite tickled by that one, and it's quite nice to have a little set of Elf cards in that game too now. So that's what Elf was up to. So in terms of what I'm wearing today, well, it's another slightly milder day here. The sky is quite overcast. The sun's trying to break through, and it does occasionally, but there's a lot of cloud cover. It's quite mild. And today I am wearing a dress with another sort of layered look. This is another garment I like to be able to wear in both the summer and winter. And yeah, I've made it wintry. I've got a ready to wear black top underneath it. But the dress is a handmade one, and it's this pattern here. It's the Maya Sotis dress by Deer & Doe. It's a really nice pattern, this one. It's a kind of slightly oversized shirt dress with a band collar, and it's got bust darts and waist darts to give a bit of shaping. And then you can either make a fairly simple shirt dress with a gathered skirt, and I think it's got pockets, or you can make one with an extra ruffle at the bottom, and you can add ruffles on the sleeves too. But it's a really nice one to sew up, and I think it's got a few details that makes it a little bit different to your average shirt dress. And in terms of sizing, I've got the paper pattern which goes from European size 34 to 46, but there are a few extra sizes available if you buy the PDF version on the website. So if you buy the PDF version, the largest size is European size 52, which is for bust 45 and 5/8 inches, waist 37 and 3/4 inches, and hips 48 inches. That's the largest size. And I think I usually make the smallest size on this pattern, which is the size 34. Now actually the measurements for size 34 are a lot smaller than my measurements. So I'm 32, 26, 36. And the measurements for that size on this pattern are 31.5, 23.5, 33 and 3/4, so a lot smaller than me. But the finished garment shows there's loads of ease on this one because it is designed to be fairly oversized. So the finished garment measurements for my size are bust 36 and 5/8, waist 29.5 and hips 63 inches. So there's loads of room for me. I didn't want it really, really oversized, particularly because I've made it in this double gauze fabric, which isn't really, really drapey. I think it might be different if you made it in something like a viscose that's really drapey, then the oversized look would be fine, but I thought it might look too bulky in this double gauze. But yeah, I made it in this really lovely double gauze fabric that I got quite a long time ago from Lamazi Fabrics. It's got this navy base, and I always forget what these are, the little things that fly through the wind. But I think they're dandelions, yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's really pretty, I think, this fabric with the little white dandelions. And I've got white buttons as well to kind of tie in with the little white flowers floating about. And for my version, I added on waist ties. I don't think there is a waist tie in this pattern. I think I might have drafted it or borrowed it from another pattern, but I've got waist ties to cinch it in a bit at the waist. And then I went for the standard short sleeve version, but I did add the skirt ruffle. And it's a really nice one to wear. Actually, I think the navy colour means it does transition well into winter, and it's nice and cosy with a black top underneath. and I'll put up a picture of me wearing it. I'd actually really like to make this pattern again. I've made it twice in double gauze, and I'd really like to try making it in another fabric, so I might consider that maybe when it's coming towards next summer, maybe making one in a cotton or viscose or something else. But that's what I'm wearing today. So in terms of my sewing plans today, I've got a few plans. I'd really like to finish the second cushion, the Christmas cushion, and maybe have a bit more of a play with the Christmas tree decorations. But one other thing I'd like to do that's just added on my list yesterday is make another Christmas present for my mum. She texted me yesterday and was saying how she's really enjoying wearing the masks I made her at the beginning of the pandemic. When the pandemic started and we knew we were going to be wearing face masks, I made a load of fabric face masks for my family. So I made some for my husband and me. I made a few for the children even, for when we went on holiday, just to be on the safe side. And I made some for my mum and sister too. And my mum really likes wearing them. She much prefers them to the kind of disposable ones you can get. So I made a few for her, and she just texted me last night to say she was really enjoying wearing them, and I think she forgot hers yesterday at work and had to wear a disposable one, and she said it was not at all comfy. So I thought maybe I'll make a couple more for her, because I kind of stopped making them because I thought maybe by this point we wouldn't need to be wearing them anymore, but that doesn't seem to be happening, and they're kind of ramping up measures here to wear them even more. So I thought, yeah, I'll make a couple more for her. So I had a look in my sort of fabric scraps to see if I can find a couple of cottons I could use to make face masks for her, and I found two that I think she'll like. So I think I might try and cut those out today. So these are two fabrics. So the first fabric you might recognise if you saw my yesterday's vlog, because it's the top I was wearing yesterday. It's this really lovely Lady McElroy cotton fabric that came from Minerva. And yeah, I made my cuff top in it, so if you watch day 13 of Vlogmas, you'll see that one. But I have a decent amount left over, definitely enough to make a mask for her. So I think I might sew up one for her, and I might sew up one for me at the same time, so I've got a mask that matches that top, because I thought that would be quite fun. And like with my mum, I feel like, you know, I could do with a few more for myself, as given this is carrying on for longer than we expected. So yeah, I'm going to make one in that fabric for her and one for me. And then I also found this fabric, and I thought it was quite a nice Christmassy one. This is a fabric I used to make a pair of pyjama bottoms from my husband. I think it's it's not too thick a cotton. It's either like a fairly substantial cotton lawn or a lightweight cotton poplin, I'm not sure. But it's another one that came from Minerva, and if they still have it, I'll link it. It's a really nice, check fabric. And I thought that would make quite a nice, Christmassy mask. So I thought, again, I'd make one for my mum and one for me. I don't think my husband would like it. He kind of prefers his to be just plain navy blue. So in terms of the patterns I use for the face masks, I thought I'd mention them. I use a different pattern for me than I do for my mum, because we have different preferences. So for me, I like to use the Dorata Davies face mask pattern, which is a free face mask pattern. I thought I'd show you it here. It's just kind of one piece of fabric for the front and back, and I quite like the fit of it. Like that. So yeah, that's the pattern I'm going to be using for me, and I'll link it down below in case you fancy making any more masks like me. And the pattern I use for my mum it's a 3D mask pattern, and I use the tutorial by Stitch Odyssey, which is on Instagram. She did it as an Instagram reel, and it's quite easy to follow. And I'll see if I can link that down below too if I can. But this is the 3D mask. It's kind of made using these little these sort of little fabric shapes, and it opens up like this, so you kind of wear it like that. And my husband and my mum both prefer that pattern. I actually prefer sewing this pattern, it's a bit less fiddly. But yeah, it was nice to try out a few different ones because we do have different preferences. So I'm hopefully going to get those cut out and sewn today. That should be a fairly quick job. And I just use leftover jersey fabric, strips of jersey fabric for the earpieces, because I find that is nice and soft. So that's my extra plan. And then I'm going to wrap those up for Christmas for her. And if I have any more time, I still have on my list to start cutting out my Hovia jacket. I'll have to see how I get on with that one. So that's some of my sewing plans for today, and I'll pop on later and share with you how I'm getting on. But while I'm on now, I thought I'd also share with you that I had a new parcel in the post this morning. That's one of the benefits actually of doing this a little bit later. The post has arrived, and I had a fabric arrive, and I'm really excited about this one. I haven't bought any fabric for a while actually, and I've been really reducing my stash down, but I've had a few fabric purchases recently, and this one I just had to buy because it's for a project that I've been looking for some fabric for absolutely ages, and I've just found nothing that I quite like the look of. And then I saw this fabric and it just spoke to me, and I was like, yes, that is the one. So I just had to buy it. And it's a fabric that's by Fabric Godmother. They make their own, they produce their own fabrics, and they use vintage prints on them. And they're really beautiful prints and really beautiful fabrics. And I've admired quite a few, but I've never bought one. But they sent an email through with their latest vintage print fabrics. And I saw this one, and it just jumped out at me, and I thought I'm going to give it a try. And it's a cotton lawn fabric. And what I'd like to make with it is a dressing gown for summer for me. So I had a summer dressing gown that I made when I first started sewing, but it just wasn't quite right. Yeah, for various reasons. I actually made a video earlier this year called My Handmade Wardrobe Edit, where I talked about a few garments that I'd made that I wasn't wearing for one reason or other and that I was planning to hand on. And this dressing gown was one of those garments, and I'll link it in case you fancy hearing about all those garments, and have given it away now. But yeah, it just wasn't right, and so I gave that away, and I'm needing another summer dressing gown because it is something I'll get a lot of use out of. But I just hadn't found the right kind of fabric with the right print. I kind of fancied making it in a lightweight cotton, because I thought that would be nice and durable, but also fairly lightweight for a summer dressing gown. And this fabric, Godmother fabric, is a cotton lawn, and I'll show you it now. It's really lovely. It's totally not me, but I just thought that's really fun. Here it is. So it's this really cool large scale print with tigers on, with like a teal background. As I said, I would never normally go for something like this, but I don't know what it was about it. I just really fell in love with it. And I thought it would make a really fun summer dressing gown. And it's really lovely, actually. It's a cotton lawn, but it's got a bit more drape to it than your average cotton lawn. And it's really silky too. So it's really nice quality fabric, and I think it'll make a perfect dressing gown. So I had originally got a pattern to use to make the dressing gown, and that was the named larger dressing gown, which is a unisex pattern, so you can make both men's and female dressing gowns from it. And I've got that pattern, but actually having looked further, it seemed like it came up quite oversized. And for a summer dressing gown, maybe for a winter one that'll be okay, but for a summer one I don't want it too oversized. I want it to fit me fairly well. So I've got that pattern. I'm keeping it for the moment in case at some point I might make my husband a dressing gown from it, because I think it'll be perfect for him. But I decided to get another pattern that I'd seen on Instagram that a few people had used, and it seemed to come up a little bit smaller. And so it's this pattern here. So I bought it yesterday, actually, downloaded it. And it is the Hayley robe by Tammy Handmade. And Tammy Handmade is quite a new pattern brand, I think. She's got a few patterns out, some really lovely dress patterns. And she's got an Instagram account too, and I'll link her down below. And she's a really nice lady too. And yes, this is a Hayley robe. It's a just dressing gown, and you can either make it in a lightweight fabric like a silky one here, or you can make it longer and in sort of a really cosy fabric. But it just looks like it's going to come up a little bit more close fitting, which is what I wanted. So I downloaded it. In terms of sizing, well, here are the versions so you can see them. Just a classic dressing gown with a drop shoulder, available in a more shorter length and a longer length too. And I'm going to just go for a shorter length for my summer dressing gown. In terms of sizing, the pattern goes from a size 6 to a size 24. And the size 24, the largest size, is for bust 49, waist 42 and hips 52 inches. And I think I'll probably size down just to make sure it isn't too big on me, and go for the size 6, which is for bust 31 inches, waist 24 inches, hips 34 inches. I think I'll probably go for that size. So I'm really looking forward to getting this one sewn up. I'm not sure if it'll be something I tackle until the new year, just because my children are off school next week, so I kind of want to prioritise some other projects because I won't have quite as much time to sew. But I'm really looking forward to getting that one in the wash and ready, so that I can hopefully get it all cut out at some point. And I also need to wait for the actually I even need to wait for the A0, is that how you say it, pattern to come. I ordered that from Fabuloso. I really like the pattern paper they print on, so that'll hopefully come at some point, so I can get started maybe tracing out and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to making that up into a dressing gown. So that was my exciting arrival this morning. So I think I'm going to go and try and get a bit of sewing time now. Yeah, it's getting on already. It's not that long till lunch, but I'm hoping to squeeze a bit of sewing in up before lunch, and I'll pop on after lunch and share with you how I'm getting on. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Hello. It's coming up to 2:30 in the afternoon now. I'm at my sewing table, or the dining table, and I don't know where the day's gone. It's gone so fast today. I have got some sewing done, so I thought I'd pop on and show you how I've got on. So the first thing I did was to sew up my red cushion, so that's finished. And I thought I'd show you the inside. I overlocked all of the edges just so I can wash it and it will last. And then I found a tip online about when you're finishing cushion corners, instead of just sewing them like a little square or like a little sort of proper sort of sharp corner, to sort of sew across like this, and it'll give a better finish apparently when you turn them inside out, because you won't have sort of pointy sort of corners that you can't fill with the cushion pad. So I thought I'd give that a go. I've done that on both my cushions, so I need to turn that the right side out, and then I'll do a little video in a moment to show them both on the sofa together. It's funny actually, when my children came home last night, I didn't think they'd really be that fussed, but they were quite excited. They're like, oh, it's a new cushion. So hopefully they'll be excited to have another new cushion tonight too. So yeah, I finished that one off. And then I also started working on the face masks for my mum and myself. And I finished both the floral ones, so I thought I'd show you. This is my mum's one finished in the style she likes. So yeah, it's got this little flap on the inside to open up. It's got a little top stitching around the edge and it came out quite neatly, and I've added on these little cotton jersey straps, but I've left them, I haven't tied them up just so she can get them to the right sort of size she wants to. So I'm going to put that in the box of presents for her, and I need to get on with wrapping those up now. I think that's the last thing for her. And then I also made my one. So here's my one. As I said, this one's a bit more fiddly to sew. It's not quite as enjoyable sew, but it's one I prefer to wear. So that's how it's going to look on. I definitely am going to make sure I wear that on one day with the matching top. So yeah, they're done. And I've got the bits cut out for a tartan one for me. I decided I'd just do the one for my mum because I thought, on retrospect, I wasn't sure if she'd like the tartan as much. I thought she'd probably prefer the floral. So I'm going to try and sew that one now. And then I've got to tidy up and go and get my children from school. Yeah, it's just gone so fast. It's looking very grey and dark out there today, so we might have a quick pop to the park after school because they do love a play. There's a little park outside school and a lot of the children sort of have a little play there before heading on home, which is quite nice. So I'll probably have a little play and then come on home. So I will say goodbye now, and I'll hopefully pop on a little bit later again. So bye. So I'm just about to meet a couple of friends and then walk up to school to collect the children, but I thought I'd pop on and show you what a grey day it is, so I'll turn the camera around and just show you. So anyway, I better go and collect those children now, so I'll see you a little bit later. Bye. Hello. So back from the school run now. We ended up staying for about an hour in the park and it started to go a little bit dark, as you'll have seen from the video I just showed of us walking home in the dusk. So they had a really nice time playing, and it was nice to do that while the weather was fairly mild and while it wasn't raining too. But you're home now and my children are having a little bit of dinner, and I'm about to go and prepare my husband's and my dinner now too. And I think I'm going to finish this video here because I'm speaking to a friend on Zoom this evening, so I won't be able to do the upload then. So I'm going to finish this now and hopefully get it all edited and uploaded fairly early this evening. So thank you so much for watching. I think for tomorrow and the day after, so for days 15 and 16 of Vlogmas, I'm going to combine those 2 days. So my next Vlogmas video will be out on Thursday evening. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you again on Thursday. Bye.